All right, we are live. Let me just go into the group, double check, make sure we are streaming in there. In the meantime, as you guys are signing on, let me know in the comments that you can see and hear Liam and I okay. I'm just going to do a quick double check while you are signing on. In the meantime, just to make sure we aren't talking to dead air. Sometimes that does happen. As you guys know from being here with us, and if you don't know us yet, welcome to the new member. But as those of you who have been with us for a while, you know, we aren't exactly the most tech savvy people, but that's okay because you don't need to be to make oodles of money online. So just want to jump on. The video is live now. Perfect. So we should be good to go. So a couple quick housekeeping things really quick before we dive into tonight's topic. If you are new, if this is your first time here with us tonight, I want you to do me a favor and go to the link that's in the post that says StreamYard on it. And just click on it and give StreamYard permission to see your name and picture, much like Brandy has done right here. What's up, Brandy? Great to see you. If you do not do that, what ends up happening is it's just a generic Facebook F. And I have no idea and no name. And so I have no idea who I'm interacting with. And so, yes, you could probably still get your questions answered. However, I like to know who I'm speaking to. I like to have a connection and interaction with you and make this, more valuable to you specifically. And so to do that, please take the second to just let us know who you are by giving StreamYard permission. That being said, that's really the only housekeeping item I have for you guys. Last week, we dropped the fire on deep dives into business breakthrough sessions. Last Sunday, we had some amazing people, Brandy being one of them, actually join us on a 3-hour business breakthrough deep dive. And it was not only a blast, but I truly believe, and you can ask some of the participants, that the value exceeded even what we thought we were going to bring. Liam and I have done this training now twice, this specific training twice. We've done many others, but this specific training twice. And I feel like the second time it delivered even more. It was much more concise, much more direct. And we were able to fill in a little of the gaps that we had to end up really doing our mentorship for. So now all in one spot, and you still get our mentorship anyway. So it all works out. So with that being said, I want to, for you, those of you who don't know who I am, as this little name tag right here says, my name is Chris Celeste. I am one of the co-founders here at OVF with my partner in crime.
Hey guys, Liam here. I can do it too. Right? Nope. That way. It's harder than it looks. It really is.
Yeah, you gotta account for the mirror effect, right? So even though my name is technically on my left, if I point left, it goes the wrong way. I do it all the time, but you get used to it. Brandy said the training was awesome. Thank you, Brandy, for taking a moment and expressing that value, the value you received to the rest of the group. I really do appreciate it. And this was what I had mentioned before, guys. When you don't give StreamYard permission to let us know who you are, to interact with you personally, this is what it does. Just a generic little gray America's Most Wanted picture, if you will, and a Facebook user. So so we can interact with you like we do with Brandy, please give us permission so we can know who you are. That being said, welcome to what I'm going to be guessing is your first ever Thursday night OVF live stream. Tonight is going to be a little bit of a different tempo than last week. Last week, we went hard to the walls and really laid it down for you guys. Give you a full business breakdown. Like, what does it really take to understand what industry I want to be in, how I want to show up in the digital marketplace, the people I want to be helping, the offer maybe I want to be giving to them, at the end of the day, the problem I'm going to be solving, because all business ever is solving a problem. Like, if you guys notice that, if you take a look at every business and service that exists today, it exists because it solves someone's problem. And so that's all we ever are really doing. So today, what I wanted to do, and as the email I sent out and the post we did in the group earlier today mentioned, today is going to be a lot about mental health, a lot about mindset, a lot about personal growth and development. It's going to be a lot about PTSD, anxiety, fear, survivor's guilt, and how that correlates to veteran success. Because I will tell you firsthand right now, there was the better part of a decade where I truly believed that PTSD was going to rule the rest of my life, that it was going to be the end all be all of who I was going to be. And I can stand here proudly and gratefully before you today to tell you that that is absolutely not the case. It might not happen overnight, but it can happen. And I just want to take a quick second to just to let you guys know, right? I'm not going to stand up here and tell you like, oh, I'm cured. I'll never have another panic attack or nightmare again. Like, I'm not saying that, guys, not by any means, right? I still have bad days. But what I will tell you right now, wholeheartedly, is I have significantly less bad days than I've ever had in my life. I'm talking once every 3 months rather than 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? How many people on this call right now would like to be, depressed maybe once every 3 months, or have a panic attack every once or every 3 months rather than dealing with them multiple times in a week? Let me know if that's you right now. Put a 1 in the comments, because that was definitely me. And now I'm able to actually achieve that. And so what we're going to be going through today, we're going to be talking to you today about is that journey, is how I went from cowering, scared in my in my cottage, couldn't think of the C word there for a second, in my cottage in upstate New York, unable to go shopping for myself, to now being able to not only get on camera in front of you, but travel the world speaking on stages in front of hundreds and thousands of people, sharing my story and making an impact. Now, again, guys, this didn't happen overnight, and I am not telling you I'm 100% cured. I'll never have another issue again, right? I'm not saying those things to you. But what I am saying is that there is a future with PTSD. There is a future after service, 100%. There really is, guys. And if I can do it and so many others can do it, I absolutely know you can do it. And before I dive in tonight into, really my story and kind of sharing with you how it is, and Liam as well. Liam's going to be, absolutely sharing his story as well. It's not just going to be me. Sharing with you how we actually overcame these things, the tactics, the tools, the, experiences we put ourselves into in order to come out the other side a better, more whole person. But before I do that, I just want to kind of take a pulse of the people we have on right now and kind of ask you really quickly, are you the kind of person who is currently allowing PTSD to dictate the quality of your life? Are you that person? If you're that kind of person, put a 2 in the comments for me right now, because if that is you, I have a feeling that this training is going to be one of the most profound ones you've ever been on. And if you get any value from what we are about to share with you, I highly recommend that you share it with another veteran so they can receive that value as well. But let me take a sip of my water. I'll give you guys a chance. I see some 2s dropping in. Awesome. We got the 2s rolling in. Appreciate you guys' engagement. It always makes these trainings, these masterminds, these live streams so much better, so much more fun for Liam and I. We can crack up jokes with each other all day. We already do that, but it's so much better when we have you guys involved as well. So what I want to talk to you guys right now, and it's probably something that everybody on this call can relate to. As I get a little bit further into my journey, I'm sure there's going to be more detachment from where you probably are right now or some of the experience you may have in your life. But I'll tell you right now, there isn't a single person on this call right now who hasn't experienced this. And that's the day you got out of the military. Being an entirely veteran group, we do have some people that are kind of active duty, but not on this call right now. And I'll tell you right now, the day I got out of the military was the day I got punched in the face. Okay? I got punched straight in the face. I had every intention of retiring from the military. I went in at 17. It's what I wanted to do. It's what I loved. I immediately found my family, my brothers. It was home. I called that home. I had no intentions of doing anything else for at least 20 years. However, first tour in Afghanistan, 8 months in, I finally received an injury that was so severe that I no longer could be a scout in the Army. And so they gave me the option after 4 months of rehabilitation and them telling me basically, sorry, kid, you're done. You're not going to be able to be a scout anymore. They gave me an option, be a desk jockey, choose to go behind the desk, or get out of the military. And for me at that point, the option was get out of the military. Now, again, I did have the original intention of staying in there 20 years. But what I'm not going to go into all the details here tonight. That's not what this is all about. But when I was over in Afghanistan, I lost 8 of my best friends. My entire unit of the 12 of us that were attached, 2 of us came home. And that weighed really, really heavy on me. And it honestly is one of the major factors that it caused that I used to choose to go and self-destruct. It wasn't, things don't happen to you. They happen for you or because of your actions. And I truly believe that now. Didn't back then, but I do believe that now. And, when I got that option, getting out was the option for me. Getting out, getting away from all of that, trying to, space myself from all that guilt and pain was what I wanted to do. However, when I got out, I realized that's when, again, I really got that punch to the face. When I got out, that's when I really realized that, holy shit, I'm all alone. I don't have any of my brothers that are still alive. My buddy Patterson, my other friend that survived, my other unit member that survived, I don't have him anymore. I don't have, any of the people that I could rely on. I don't have any college background. I don't have any real skill sets. I'm good at recon. I was a scout. That's about it. So what do I do, right? Like literally life punched me in the face. It was like, doctors told you you're going to be disabled for the rest of your life. You have no college degree. You have no family and friends around you to support you. And now you don't have a unit. Good luck. Can anybody relate to that? Can anybody feel like, did anybody else feel that when they got out? Let me know right now in the comments. Let me know, like write me if that was you too when you got out of the service. I know it's not going to be everybody on here. I know that everyone's journey is a little bit different, but even if you didn't have it the exact same way I did, when you got out of the military, did you feel lost? Did you feel like, what next? What do I do now? Like, where do I go? Because that was me. That was absolutely me when I got out of the military. I was 19 years old. I had just received the TBI and respiratory failure. I couldn't walk from myself to the door away from me, which is 5 feet, without being drenched in my own sweat because the oxygen was not diffusing from my lungs into my blood properly. Like, where I was mentally and physically when I got out of the service was not a very good place. And I guarantee you there's many of you on here who are just like that. However, I'll tell you right now, I'm standing in front of you as living proof that was not the end all be all and definitely wasn't the best I could be. However, at the time, it's what I accepted. And so for the next almost 6 years, better part of a half a dozen years, I tried group therapy. I tried individual therapy. I tried the medications that the VA prescribed to me, all 11 of them every day. And, things weren't getting better at all. If anything, they were just getting worse. And I was very self-destructive. I was literally drinking, drugging, fighting, stealing, doing everything you could think of so that I didn't have to think or experience myself. I'd rather deal with physical pain from a fight or whatever it was than having to deal with that with myself. Can anybody else relate to that? To that level of PTSD, to where it's like, I'd rather get hurt physically than deal with this emotional pain. Patrick's saying the harder you play, the harder you play, the harder you get hit. Have a plan B. A guy once told me, and sure as shit, I was hit, and since then it's been a roller coaster. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely, brother. I was not prepared, and I can see clearly, even with a little bit of advice, you were not as well. And I'm that kind of person too, where, and my wife's a perfect example of this. She can tell me something until she's blue in the face. Until I discover it for myself, I don't take action on it. I don't believe it, right? And so I'm guessing, Patrick, you're a lot like me like that, where it's like, you can tell me the right way, but I got to experience the wrong way to know the right way. So what I would love to do is to try to help every single one of you on here to kind of skip over that skip over a lot of the self-destruction and just not good stuff that I went through those 6 years, and get you into the realm of success, wealth, and abundance much quicker than I ever thought I was ever going to. I didn't even think I could back then, but much faster than I ever thought possible. And so one of the things for me that was, just give me 1 second. Liam, you want to take over for 1 minute? Share a little bit?
Yeah, sure. All right. So for me, I got hurt. I was a CTM in the Navy. I volunteered for a base beautification project because we were in a tunnel, recycled air, never got to see sunlight. So I figured, why the fuck not, right? So I started working on the base beautification project, digging a trench, redoing drainage trenches. They haven't been done in years. So I ended up hurting my lower back, and I just thought nothing of it. I just thought that I was using muscles I wasn't used to. So ended up going to the doctor weeks and weeks later, just kept fighting through it and kept continuing like we're trained to do, right? So when I went to a doctor, they told me, if you were just chilled out, relaxed a little bit, you would have been fine. But now you've got herniated and bulging discs. So they tried treating me for about a year in the service. So that didn't work out, and they ended up separating me. What happened was I got out, tried doing my benefits and everything like that. They kept telling me, wait. So I kind of just kept putting it off, delaying it. I didn't feel like it was worth it because I didn't feel like I was worth it to get my benefits because I didn't get hurt in a combat zone or something like that. So I ended up stuck in a bed for my spinal injury for 7 years, maybe give or take a year or two. You kind of lose track, It's really sad and depressing. I got lost in my own head. I listened to them when they told me that I was just a disabled veteran, and I own that. That became who I was. I got lost in my mind. I didn't want to deal with reality at all. Go away, Dom. I ended up drinking too much. Definitely drank too much. My meds got out of hand. I had to get off my painkillers. Didn't want to deal with that anymore. Ended up moving to Tennessee. Met my girlfriend that I'm with now. We moved to Memphis together. She had a great job coming here. I had nothing at all. So I went and I applied for what I thought was going to be a tech job, since I did computer networking and stuff like that, doing installs for a security company. Right up my alley. Figured, easy cake, I could do that. So I go to the interview and I'm sitting there. I'm nervous. My palms are sweaty. My palms getting sweaty just thinking about it, reliving it, And getting to the interview, I get called back, and come to find out it's for a sales position. I didn't want to do sales. I don't know anything about sales. I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to other people, let alone random people. So I started talking to them. All the fear was building up. Commission only. Oh fuck, commission only. What if I don't do it? I can't survive off nothing. That was a difficult decision. The fear was getting to me. I didn't want to do it. I just kept beating myself up mentally, and then some part of me was like, dude, what do you got to lose? You're not doing anything right now. You're not making any money. Why not? Do it. So fighting with myself in my mind, I accidentally, how when you're thinking and then all of a sudden you accidentally say the words out loud? So I'm like, fuck it. He's like, excuse me? I was like, fuck it. Yeah, I'll do it. So that's kind of how I ended up getting that job. And man, I tell you, for months, I sucked at it. I was terrible, but that was my introduction to entrepreneurship. I was stubborn, thought I knew better, didn't follow the directions. I wasn't coachable. I was learning a lot about myself, but I didn't give up. I just kept going. Even with all my back pain from my injury, I still walked over 13 miles a day. I had blisters on my feet. Do you know what it's like starting to walk like 13 miles a day when you've been stuck in a bed and in a room for years? That shit is devastating on the body, getting back into shape. My God, that killed me. But once I uh, let my pride go aside and started listening to the people that knew what they were talking about, that's when everything changed for me. I got real big into personal development. I started meditating. Listen, I didn't like meditating either. I know some of you on here are like, meditating, what kind of bullshit is this? No, no, no. I was like that at first too. I still can't meditate by myself without the guided meditation, but that shit actually works. No joke. But then the pandemic happened and I pivoted. I hooked up with Chris and we wanted to bring something for y'all. So we teamed up, combined our knowledge, and this is what we're bringing to y'all.
No, that's powerful, man. That's really powerful. You know, it's something that I'll just add to that for myself personally. You know, when you were sitting there in the interview, palms sweating, nervous, wondering, you know, like, am I even like worth doing this? Am I worthy of this? Can I do it? Can I pull it off? You know, am I enough? All these things that go through our heads, right? Can I actually succeed? What happens if I do succeed? Like, you're afraid to fail, but then you're afraid to succeed. It's like, I'm afraid of all these different things, but you did it anyway, right? And that's one thing I love about the veteran community, right? Is regardless of our PTSD, regardless of, you know, any of the fears or anything that we may be experiencing, we also deep down inside us have a will and a drive to see the mission to completion. To no matter what, come hell or high water, we're going to achieve what we set out to achieve. And I think it's really powerful, something that a lot of us forget along the way, myself included, right? You know, when I was drinking and snorting and smoking and ingesting everything I could find, I had forgotten how powerful I could be. I was running from my own power. I was running from my own capability because I wanted to stay stuck because it was my punishment for surviving. True story. I did not realize this at the time, but I always had the ability about almost 3 years ago now, for the very first time, no, a little over 3 years ago now, for the very first time to, sorry guys, I'm not good with timelines. I'm trying to figure out the exact date so I can give it to you correctly. It's going on almost 3 years now. It was back in January of 2018 that I had the ability to go to my first ever personal development seminar. Now, some of you may have heard me talk about this before, but when my first introduction into online or into entrepreneurship in general was not what you guys do, what we do here. It was not digital advertising. It was not online businesses. It was none of this. My first introduction into entrepreneurship was a mobile auto glass business that a good friend of mine and I started together. And if you guys have heard the story, I won't go into all the details, but I originally became the office guy for that job because I was scared to interact with people, because I knew my PTSD was going to affect the way we could run the business. What I did not take into account was that regardless of what job I did in that business, I was eventually going to have to talk to somebody. And being the office person, that meant that I actually spent more time on the phone talking to people than my business partner, who was our lead tech and actually out in the field doing the installs. And just like Liam, when I would pick up that phone to answer it, or when he was in the interview, I would pick up the phone to dial to call somebody, the phone would like be ready to slip out of my hand. My hands would be so sweaty. My heart would be like old school wolf in a cartoon when he sees that beautiful woman and his heart starts pounding out of his chest. Only mine's for a different reason. Mine's fear-based, not lust-based. And for me, like literally, like if you were to like look at a cartoon of somebody who was expressing fear, like that's all the physical attributes I was feeling just picking up a phone. Like if you got, can you guys relate to that? Can anybody else relate to that? To actually being scared of something as simple as an electronic device? Because here's the thing. What I learned, and the reason I keep bringing these things up, is that I've been afraid a lot. A lot of things have made me fearful, have brought anxiety into my life. But on the other side of that coin, every single time I have pushed through anyway. Every single time that I have said, all right, I'm scared, do it. Or, all right, I'm getting anxious, what's going on? Now, guys, here's the thing. If you've had a full-blown panic attack like I have, you know that you are absolutely not even thinking. You are not even in control yet. Takes a while to bounce back from that fog. So I'm not saying this is going to be the end-all, be-all, and always work. But what I will tell you is that what I have found for fear and anxiety to work better than anything else is 3 long, deep breaths and then action. 3 long, deep breaths. Three times. And then whatever it was that was scaring me, whatever it was that had my anxiety going up, whatever it was that was like physically manifesting on me, I would do it anyway. And here's the thing, guys. It was not pretty at first. Those first couple of phone calls I made, I was stuttering over myself, forgetting what to say. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I hung up on people, just being scared. Like, whoops, click, sorry, didn't mean that. But with time,
I've closed people's doors I've knocked on for them and then re-knocked on the fucking door so I can start over.
That's clever though, man. That's clever. Like that's like talk about like a perfect restart. Just like grab the door and shut it and then knock again. Hey, it's Liam, first time being here. That's actually kind of clever, man. But for me, like I was deathly afraid. And so I had to get on these phones. I had to get customers. I had to order from vendors. I had to get better deals. I had to do these things. So I had to get on the phone. And the more I did it, the less scary it became. The easier it got for me. The better I got at it. All right. And so the problem for me, though, with that business and the reason I no longer do it is that there's no automation in a face-to-face service-based business like that. It's literally I have to trade my time for money in order to get compensated. Nothing against it, guys. If that's something you absolutely love doing, continue doing it. I didn't love doing it. It was not firing me up at all. I was actually watching my family go on vacations without me. That was killing me. I needed change. So for me, what ended up happening, and you guys probably know this by now, is I switched to online business. I switched to digital business. I started leveraging softwares and tools for automation so that I had a business running for me 24/7, giving my customers exactly what they want and satisfying them, creating repeat customers without me ever having to do another bit of work. Build it once, set it and forget it. Now, I never forget it, guys. I love what I do. So I'm constantly engaging, constantly interacting, constantly connecting. There's probably several of you on this call right now who I've messaged directly to be like, hey, welcome to the OVF. What's up? What are you looking to achieve here? How can we help you? And then there's been so many of you who said to me, Chris, thank you for messaging me. I didn't even think I was worthy of talking to you. Now, guys, I want to just say something really quick. That is never the case. I've said this to so many veterans. Liam and I have had this conversation before. It's just, I want to set the record straight right here, right now for everybody who is watching this, whether they're here live or on the replay. You raised your right hand and you signed your name on that dotted line and you served this country honorably, not dishonorably discharged and sent to Leavenworth or any crap like that, but truly served this country. I don't care if you were a cook, a mechanic, or a frontline soldier. it takes an army and it takes an entire military to win a war. It takes an entire military to keep the freedoms and safeties alive for this country. And so don't ever think because you were a cook or you were a mechanic or you were a driver and you weren't a combat arms, or even if you were a combat arms, but you didn't see combat, which I've had that conversation before too, that like you don't deserve to reach out. You don't deserve the same benefits, the same chances and opportunities as every other veteran out there. That's not at all the case. You know, unless you flunked out of freaking basic or got sent dishonorably discharged to Leavenworth, we're here to help you guys. Like, you're still a veteran. You're still one of us. You're still part of the brotherhood. And if you're a sister, sisterhood. So just wanted to clear the air with that, because I know I've had several conversations here in the last 2 months with veterans, especially here inside the OVF, where that's come up, where it's almost like a pit and a pedestal situation, which is a training that changed my life. So I'm just going to share it with you guys really quickly. Whenever you have someone in your life that you look up to, a hero, a mentor, someone that, you know, influences you, one of the worst things that you can ever do is put that person up onto this unattainable pedestal. First of all, the reason that you are drawn to this person, the reason that you like attributes about this person is because those same exact attributes exist in you. You wouldn't be able to recognize them if they didn't. So if that person's a phenomenal public speaker, or they have confidence all day long, or they're a natural salesman, like if you can see those things in that person, you have them in you too, right? So there's no reason to ever put a person up on a pedestal, because they are your equal. They are not above you. And the minute you put someone up on a pedestal, you are putting yourself down in the pit. You are telling yourself that that person is better than me, and that I have to work harder to be that. Now, granted, yes, you do have to work harder to be that. Hands down, we all do. We all have to put in the work to be what we want to be. But it does not mean that you need to put this person on an unattainable pedestal. Because when you do that, again, you're putting yourself so far down in the pit that it becomes that unattainable characteristic, that unattainable piece that you want for yourself. So what you do instead is you look at that person and you look at what about them that you admire, what about them that you are drawn to, and then you write down for yourself 50 to 100 different ways why you believe you are also that way, that you also have that in you. It might take you a little while. It did for me the first time I ever did this exercise. But I guarantee you what's going to end up happening is you're going to realize that the people you idolize, the people that you look up to, the people that maybe you are putting on a pedestal right now are really no different than you. It might just have a little bit more time or experience. That's all. And so when I learned that, it completely radically changed everything for me and made me so much more confident in talking with strangers, talking with people who are further along in their journey than I am, that maybe have more wealth accumulated than I do, or more success in different areas of life. I was no longer fearful to speak to them. I was no longer putting them on this pedestal where they were unattainable. I was actually their peer. I was actually collaborating and working cooperatively with them, rather than the other thing, which is kind of false idolization, which never really does very well for anybody, especially the person whose ego you're building. So I just wanted to bring that up for you guys really quick, because I know it benefited me, and anything that can benefit me, I want to share with you. But I just want to bring it back real quick for 1 second, because I mentioned personal development and growth. I mentioned how going to that event actually radically changed my life, but it wasn't just that event, right? It was a culmination of things. And I want to share with you what I truly believe that recipe was that allowed myself personally to be the guy standing in front of you today. And so step one for me was getting off those damn meds. It was destroying me. I was a zombie. I was literally a walking zombie. I was taking more meds than my body could process and handle. I was killing myself. Now, I didn't have the answer back then, But I did realize when I moved to Arizona and I had alternative medical care available to me that I was willing to try something different. And so when I got off those 11 pills a day and I switched back then to cannabis, which was cannabis sativa for me, I completely changed my mind, right? I was no longer altering the chemical composition of my mind to the point where I was unrecognizable. I was only altering it to the point where I was calm and collected and could function. And that's really what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for life destroying treatment. I was looking for a semblance of normalcy, a semblance of feeling like myself again, to be able to function in everyday society. So number one for me, and I recommend that no matter what you're currently doing, you find what works best for you. But for me, it was getting off all those pills and going to a much more holistic approach. And thankfully, gratefully, we actually are able to have a brand in the hemp industry that we can actually be confident in and rely on, which wasn't something I had not even a year ago. So really fortunate about that. So now I can have other means that are non-mind altering that I can use to really benefit myself. And we're actually going to be highlighting and sharing some of those inside the group, featuring about one awesome product a week, letting you guys know how it's benefiting us and things like that here in the near future. But that's not what we're talking about here today. However, I will let you know that without CBD, I would not be able to achieve the things I do today. CBD is a huge daily tool, key to who I am, hands down. And I'm sure Liam can attest to that as well, to being able to get off those crazy ass pharmaceuticals that are not doing us any good and get a much more holistic homeopathic approach to really using what nature provides to let our body heal itself. So that was really number one, get off them damn pills and start thinking clearly. And once I started thinking clearly, go ahead, brother.
You think I really could have walked 13 miles a day with no pain medicine with my back? Hell fucking no. That was CBD. That's why I jumped at it. So CBD has saved my life for the most part.
Getting a lot of comments I've been neglecting. Nope, I want to trade my money for my time. That's right. That's the better equation, right? That's literally what I do. I put a little money behind some ads that I created one time. Those ads go out into the world, create me connections and leads and customers, and it keeps on happening. It keeps on happening. It keeps on happening. I put money up, more money comes in. I put money up, more money comes in. And then, Liam, what he's doing right now is the organic version of that, which is put a little time in, have people come in, do it again. Put a little time in, do it again. So there's different variations to do it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is balancing it out and making sure that you have a schedule that works for you so that you're working 2-3 hours a day, getting those income producing activities accomplished so that you can actually live your life and do the other things you want to do. That's really what it's all about for me. And I'm sure many other people on here. So number one, again, guys, getting off them damn meds and getting onto a much more, clean way of getting better, clean way of letting my body heal itself. The second one was surrounding myself with like-minded people, veteran entrepreneurs. So one of the main reasons that Liam and I love OVF and really wanted to make this an entire community rather than just a business or a nonprofit or anything else that we could have done is because we truly have benefited and believe you can too from being surrounded by others who have experienced and are on the same journey as you. Same mission, same background, similar experiences. At least we all served together or all served. And that allows for an open, honest, clear communication amongst each other where we can feel like we're not going to catch a whole lot of shit. Granted, we give each other a lot of shit.
Fuck.
We give each other a lot of shit.
I can say fuck.
Yeah. We do give each other a lot of shit, but it comes from love. It comes from a place of compassion, comedy, and love. It's never hurtful or demeaning. Like it truly is like, hey, listen, I know what you've been through. Let's freaking laugh at the darkness a little bit together, right? That's what it really is. And so number 2 for me, and everyone on this call also has the ability to have that now, if you didn't before OVF, is a like-minded community of people who want you to succeed and want to get to know you. So that was number 2. And for me, back before OVF, what I did was I surrounded myself with people who were going to create a better future for themselves. I started to surround myself with not the everyday friends who were happy drinking every weekend, or the everyday family members who were happy to harp about Aunt Sue or Uncle Jim every time we talked. I wasn't surrounding myself with the people who were constantly in the negative or constantly searching for the problem. I started surrounding myself with the people who were goal-oriented, who wanted to create better futures for themselves, who were driven and actually taking action to go do that. People who are also investing in their education, investing in businesses, investing in personal development. I started surrounding myself with those kinds of people, because there's an old saying: you cannot stick your hand in a bucket of glue and pull it back out without some of that glue coming with it, right? Same thing happens with the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you're having, the constant input you're putting into here, right? It's the same effect. We're getting a couple of fam here is fun, and it keeps it light and easy. Absolutely. I don't know exactly who you are. If you want to give StreamYard and Facebook permission for us to interact with you directly, the link is in the post. Then we can, say your name and talk to you directly. But you're absolutely right, though, 100%. And we've said it time and time again. If Liam and I had to stand up here with suits on and talk about, graphs and numbers and all, like, we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't want to do it, right? I want to have fun with my other fellow veterans and show them exactly what I have done to create massive wealth and time freedom, location freedom, and relation freedom, and everything else that I've been able to build in my life over these last few years. And so, again, this is repeat them really quick. CBD, getting off meds, and switching to a more holistic approach. For me, the answer was CBD. Surrounding myself with like-minded people, getting away from that negative environment, that toxic mindset, and starting to surround myself and put myself into experiences that were going to grow me rather than keep me where I was, rather than kind of sink me back down into where I was. And Liam, of the 2 we've talked about so far, before we go into number 3, what is your take on, you mentioned, about the pills and CBD being able to allow you to do that walk, but what has surrounding yourself with other veterans done for you?
It allows me to feel like I don't have to put on a face like I do with civilians. They get me. I don't need to hold back. I just get to be me. And that's an amazing feeling when you don't need to hide behind something anymore. I'm not sure if anyone else here can relate to it. Can you?
Absolutely.
So for sure, that's my biggest thing is, and I want to help everyone. I want us all, the old saying like, rising sea rises all ships kind of thing. That's what I want to do. I want all of us to just, enough is enough. We need to stop wallowing in our pity and pain and just help each other and rise the fuck up.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I wanted. Like, that's exactly it, man. Let's enough is enough. It's time to rise up, and together we are unstoppable. So let's do it as a freaking team. Let's do it. And I can't agree more. Like you said it perfectly, and I don't want to harp on that subject anymore. So let's jump into number 3. There's going to be 4 things that I want to share with you, but let's jump into number 3. And I love it, Patrick. Absolutely. Rise the fuck up. And hell yes, Brandy. I agree. So, guys, obviously, getting your mind right, making sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people who are going to inspire and uplift you. As Will Smith said, surround yourself with people who are going to stoke your fire, not piss on the flames, right? Exactly that. That's what we're looking for here. That's what we do here, and that's what you should be looking for as well. The next thing, guys, is I learned. So I got myself correct. I got myself surrounded by the right people, and then I learned a high demand skill set. I learned something that allowed me to financially set myself free. Now, for you guys, you always have the ability to reach out to Liam and I to get involved with what we do, to learn the skill sets of digital sales and marketing like we teach. Absolutely. It's personally what set me free. However, what I want to really emphasize for this training for you is that there are skill sets out there that are in high demand and that pay better than most others out there. And that's what you want to be looking for. Find one of those inside of an industry or a sub niche that you are passionate about. Because if you can do that, money no longer becomes an issue. The bills are paid, the savings accounts fill, travel is no longer a problem, multiple vacations a year, because guess what? The amount of time and effort you're spending right now at your 9 to 5, the amount of time and effort you spend right now working, you could use a fraction of that in a higher level skill set and get paid exponentially more than what you are right now, because the skill set is worth more. Let that sink in, guys. At the end of the day, the only reason a doctor gets paid more than a janitor is because the skill set is more specific and is worth more, right? But what's beautiful about what we do is you don't need 8 years and hours and thousands of hours of learning to become a proficient digital sales and marketer. You do need that to be a doctor. You do need that to be a lawyer. You do need at least 4 years of an education to be an engineer. And those are the three occupations that I can think of that can even come close to making what my fellow marketers and I make. And that's because of the skill set we have chosen. High demand, high paying, but unique enough that not everybody can do it without proper training. And so that's number 3, skill set. It's a huge part, but there will never, ever be success in a skill set without the proper mindset, which is why getting my health correct, getting my environment and my network correct needed to be parts of this, right? Any one of these things by themselves are going to be great, but all of these pieces together ultimately allowed me to create the life I have today. And the fourth one and the final one that I want to talk to you about tonight is personal development. Guys, I'll tell you right now, I did almost the better part of a decade of either group therapy or one-on-one therapy through the VA, through private insurance, through other things. And nothing I have done has benefited me more than conversations with other veterans and actually working on me through personal development. That's it. Those have been the 2 major factors in allowing me to completely change my relationship with fear, PTSD, anxiety, and survivor's guilt. Now, with everything going on in the world right now, I know that there's not a lot of events going on. There's not a lot of personal development stuff happening. However, that does not mean that you cannot pick up a book by, say, Jim Rohn or Les Brown or any of the big names out there who can completely impact and change your life through their words and teachings. Guys, I'm telling you right now, Liam mentioned it earlier, meditation is kind of like this woo-woo thing. People are like, it doesn't really work. It's not for me, blah, blah, blah. I said the same thing about reading. I said the same thing about gratitude practice. I said the same thing about meditation. I said the same thing about exercise. I said the same thing about working out. I said the same thing about so many different things. And then the minute I did them, I was like, oh, now I see why we do this. And I never stopped doing them. Kevin Harrington's Mentors to Millions, perfect example of what I'm talking about. Now, I will always recommend, guys, that you get yourself to an in-person event. You get deeply immersed. If you get the opportunity, guys, I've done 3-day, 7-day, and 10-day retreats. And I have benefited so much from every single one of them that I constantly am going to always be a student of personal development. It's what I do now. It benefits me that much that's going to be the realm of my life and bettering my mental health, my physical health, and all of that. I do business. Business for me is digital marketing. Business for me is educating others. But when it comes to my personal health, my personal well-being, making myself the best version I can be, and making sure that I don't have to hide in a corner or have, all the crazy things that were happening to me a couple of years back happen, I stay in personal development. I stay growing myself. I stay a student, and I stay open-minded to the fact that what I may have known yesterday got me to where I was, but what I can learn today will get me where I want to go. So guys, that's the 5 things that I wanted to share with you guys today when it comes to how I personally, and Liam as well, were able to rewrite some of these old stories around fear, anxiety, PTSD, survivor's guilt, feelings of unworthiness, and turn that on its head and actually become more successful now than we ever thought we could possibly be. And so I just want to say really quick before I turn this over and ask you guys if you have any questions or anything like that. I just want to share one thing with you guys really quick. And that is, if you're on this call right now, if you're sitting here and you're thinking to yourself, much like I did many, many times in my past, that's great, Chris, but this doesn't really apply to me. That's great. You can do it. I can't. If you're thinking to yourself these things right now, I challenge you to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I would love to eat some crow. Do these things. Implement them. Do them for 30 days. Change your life. And if you didn't, call me out. Do it. I would love it. I would love nothing more than for you to take me up on this challenge, because here's the thing, guys. If you take it seriously, you dedicate yourself to 30 days of implementing these things and changing your life, you and I are not going to be having a heated conversation. We are going to have an excited conversation about what is possible for you in your future now that you have proven to yourself you are as powerful as myself or Liam or Elon Musk or Gary Vaynerchuk or any other person on this planet. So I hope that everyone on this call accepts that challenge. Now, do you have any questions for Liam and I? We got about, 5, 8, somewhere around there. It's 5 to 7 minutes left on the call tonight. If you do not have any questions, that's fine. If you receive value here tonight, being on the call, drop value in the comments for me so that I know you still have a pulse and that we're still good to go. Most of the times what I find out ends up happening is that after an hour of information, hour of training, it's usually like fire hose to the face. I'm just so stunned with all the information I just got. Can we process this for a minute and then ask the question? So, Patrick's saying no questions, but I booked a call with you tomorrow. Awesome. You took me up on the email. I sent out an email to OVF members, just letting everybody know, welcome. And if you haven't had the opportunity to sit down and chat with me and figure out what it is exactly you want to be doing and get that clarity and figure out how it is that we can even help you, then, I'm doing 30-minute calls. I did them today and I'm doing them again tomorrow. And Patrick actually is one of the people who has taken me up on that. So look forward to talking to you tomorrow, Patrick. I'm sure there's a lot of amazing things we could do together.
I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but I wish there was us around back when I was down in my low point.
So it's crazy that you mentioned that, right? Because some of the greatest developments, evolutions, inventions in history came from somebody who wished they had it themselves, so they created it. Pretty crazy.
I also wish I learned about being an entrepreneur when I was younger too. Even when I grew up, all that mindset stuff was considered bullshit. Don't take it seriously. Only stupid people do. Oh, fuck that. No. That shit has really changed everything. It's given me better control of my own personal mind. I am in control of myself now, and I'm fully aware of it now. It's night and day. I just followed what I thought.
Well, that's
I
the thing, right? At the end of and let's just pull back that for a second and just let you guys know, like, we're not blaming you or shaming you in any way. You're doing what you know with the information you have, right? All of us, we're doing the best we can with the information, experiences up to this point in our life. However, what I wanted to do here tonight is change the information you had, change what that perspective of what could be possible for you. And hopefully that is what we were able to do here tonight for you, right? Because there's so many veterans that I speak to, right? There's a lot of veterans that I speak to who have big, big dreams, big goals, big aspirations for the future. But there is just something that is stopping them. There is something that is keeping them from moving forward. There is something that's keeping them from pulling the trigger. And a lot of times they don't even know what it is. A lot of times it's just like this hidden thing. And what I love to do, and what I love being able to do here recently with OVF, since I've been on my own personal journey and experienced so much on my own, is having these conversations with my fellow veterans and seeing in them and in their story very similar things to myself or someone else I've helped, and then being able to help them identify it, address it, move past it, and create the new life for themselves. I feel that honestly is probably one of the most rewarding bits of what we do here inside of OVF. I don't know. That's just something that was on my mind, probably off topic, but I wanted to bring it up.
You get me all emotional here. Get me
I love
in my
what I do, man. I honestly, truly wish for every person I know to be able to jump out of bed and be as excited about their life and business as I am. Honestly, like I literally wake up next to the woman of my dreams, the most beautiful woman I know. I've got 3 amazing, healthy kids who are intelligent and curious and adventurous. And I run a business that makes me more than enough money, way more than enough money. And I get to share that with other people who matter to me, other veterans. And I get to spend time traveling the world and living with living in my hobbies, like the huge turtle pond that I built out back and all the other things that we've got going on right now. Like, I love what I do. I love it. And notice that only one of those things revolved around money, guys. Like, most of what I do revolves around connections, relationships, and time. Think about that for a second, because I'll tell you right now that once you start making significant money, the money is not going to be the thing you're thinking about. It's going to be, okay, now I have this time. What am I going to be doing? How can I expand these relationships? How can I see more of the world? How can I experience more of what I love? How can I work more on me? Ooh, that was a big one for me. Once I no longer had to worry about my disability check covering the bills because I was making significant money, I could focus on working on me. When I never had to say no to my children, I still say no because I want them to work for things and understand, responsibility and hard work, not entitlement. But, I don't have to tell my kids no. I don't have to. I choose to. I don't have to. I don't have to tell, my wife no. Still don't. That's just stupid of me. I like living. I don't tell her no. But I'm just like the time freedom, the relationship freedom. If my wife needs to go to New York to see her family, done. Tickets bought. Time. I don't have to worry about taking time off work or figuring all these logistics out. It's like, you got to go. Good. You're good to go. I got this. I got it. And vice versa. It's just amazing things, guys. And these are just some of the things that are going to be available to you when you take on a skill set that can pay the bills like digital sales and marketing can. And so we're about 1 minute to the end. There were no questions. You guys are just, sharing some love, and I really appreciate that. I'm sure, Liam is like myself where, it makes it so much more rewarding when the value we're relaying, the time and effort we're putting in is well received and it's actually being of an impact on you. And so I appreciate all your kind words. I did already drop a challenge for you guys, so I'm not going to ask you to do anything else but take action on what we talked here tonight. Implement these things into your life. Conquer your fear, get rid of your anxiety, overcome your survivor's guilt, allow yourself to truly start living again and experience what a life of joy and abundance really can be. Because guess what? You deserve it more than most. Any closing words, Liam?
I just want you guys to realize that everything that I said was something I've never shared, like in this setting before. So yes, it did make me uncomfortable. I do feel better. I overcame the fear of sharing it, and I did it with people I don't even know. Chris never heard me say that stuff before. This is a first.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard small pieces in
yeah,
conversation, but I've never heard the whole thing. That's for sure.
and there's still a little more.
Let's close it out like this. Would you say that the number one key to your success, to your growth, to your becoming better than your post-military self ever thought possible, do you believe that the key to that for you was saying, fuck being uncomfortable, fuck fear, let's do this thing? And just got uncomfortable and let the fear ride?
Yeah. There's something deep inside you that tells you you know what you should be doing. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it.
And that's how we'll leave it for you guys tonight. I appreciate all of your time and interaction and engagement here on the live stream. It makes this training, it makes our masterminds, it makes what we want to deliver to you that much more impactful and honestly, that much more fun for us. So thank you for your time here tonight. We will be here every Thursday at 5 p.m. PST, delivering value, sharing with you what's working, what's going on, any important announcements, any exciting trainings that may be coming right here, 5 p.m. every Thursday. For whatever reason, if that ever changes, you will hear about it. And on that topic, it just popped in my head, keep your eyes peeled on the group over the weekend. Liam and I are going to be dropping in some pretty cool polls that may have rewards for those who participate. We're just trying to get a pulse of what you guys are looking for, get a pulse of what's working best for you. So it's just going to be a simple, vote this, vote that. And for everybody who interacts with that, there may be a prize. Read the post and find out. But keep your eyes peeled over the weekend because, we're always looking for ways to increase the value we're bringing to you, make it more effective, make sure that you guys are really getting everything you need. And so these polls that we give out to you guys really do help us tremendously with providing you even more value. And you may get to win a prize. So with that being said, have a great rest of your week, guys. Crush it out. We're closing out the, 2020 is coming to an end. So let's finish out 2020 with a bang. Let's finish out this week with a bang. If you guys need me or Liam for anything, shoot us a quick message. We're always available, always willing to help and assist you in your journey. Other than that, see you next Thursday. Peace.